So, your church purchased Switcher Studio because you heard it was one of the easiest and the best live streaming apps to use. You bought it, and now you're struggling on how to use it. But don't fret, that's why I'm here. In this video, I am going to do a step-by-step, in-depth tutorial on Switcher Studio, how to get up and started, how to use the basic features right now. So, let's jump in. Hey everybody, it is your girl Coach Cheryl, and welcome back to my channel. In this channel, I create content to help make social media, live streaming, and online ministry super easy for churches, ministries, nonprofits, and Christian entrepreneurs. If that sounds like content that you love, I want you to go ahead, come into the family. All you have to do is click that subscribe button. Also click the notification bell so you'll know when I drop a new video each week. So welcome to the family. So listen, live video production shouldn't have to be rocket science, and Switcher Studio makes it super easy for anyone, your volunteer-based children, to use. So we're going to walk through this step-by-step tutorial so you can see how easy it is and you can get started today. So let's jump into the tutorial. Hey everybody, so now we are in the lab and we're going to walk through a quick tutorial on how to use Switcher Studio. When you open the app, this is the screen that you will see. You'll see that there are some tutorials at the top. I recommend that you go through those. And then right under that, you'll see there are two different options as far as the orientation. There is 16:9, which is landscape mode, which I suggest for any church that's doing your live stream. But then there's also 9:16, which is a vertical. That can work when you're doing reels or that kind of thing. Under that, you'll see there are two options. One says use as switcher. That means you're going to be using that device to actually switch between cameras and to switch between audio devices. And this is going to be your main control. Or it says share this device. That is for your other iPhones that are going to be operating as cameras. That's the selection that they would use. But since we are going to be using this as a switcher, the actual switcher, we're going to select that. So we're going to click the first one, use as switcher. And when you do that, you'll see it loading up and it's going to bring you to your main dashboard. And so all of the assets that we use, I have loaded up in here. If you're just starting out on Switcher, this will be blank and you'll have to load those assets in yourself. But we're going to start and show you how to use pre-made customized assets as well as how to make your own. So let's jump into what we see on the dashboard. On your left-hand side, you'll see the word sources, and you'll see where I have some background graphics. I have a countdown clock in there. I have some lower thirds, all of that there. This is where you will store all of the assets, which is the camera sources, which is the audio sources, which is the countdown clock. You'll use the graphic resources. You'll store all of those on this left side of the panel. On the right side, you'll see where it says live. That is the live feed. That is what people will actually see on the broadcast. So that larger window shows you what's actually happening right this moment, right this second. So you'll always know what's going on. Under that, you'll see at the very bottom, there is a blue, almost camera looking like thing. The rest of the icons are white. If it's blue, it will let you know that is the one that you have selected. So this allows you to put in your cameras as inputs. You can add up to 9, yes, 9 devices as camera resources or camera sources on Switcher. So you can add those there. You'll see at the bottom in blue, it says add source. So I could add additional sources there. You'll also see where it says built-in camera. That's if I wanted to actually use the iPad as a camera source. I'm not using it. You'll also see where it says Cheryl's iPhone. That's my iPhone. That is what I'm using as a source. And as long as your sources are on the same Wi-Fi internet network, you can use them. But also make sure that every single camera, every single phone that you're using with Switcher, and it only works with iPhones and iPads, that those are showing in here and they have to be on the same Wi-Fi network to work. Make sure if you have an iPad or an iPhone connected and you don't see it in that source, make sure that you go ahead and check the internet to make sure it's on the same Wi-Fi network. The next thing you'll see is a box with an arrow. So let's click on that and see what that brings up. That brings you to your outputs. That's showing you where you're sending this video signal to. You can send it to Facebook, you can send it to YouTube, LinkedIn Live, Twitch. And then you'll see an option that says multi-streaming. Switcher lets you stream to 2 outputs, 2 platforms simultaneously. So you could switch to, let's say, YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Also, then you'll see custom RTMP, which means you can go directly to, let's say, your church's website instead of going to all those other places. The next option you'll see looks like an hourglass. Let's select that and see where that goes. That takes you to your transitions, how you want to go from one video feed to the next. Do you want it to be a straight cut? Do you want it to be a dissolve? Do you want it to wipe from left to right? Do you want it to be a cube, twist, all those different things? I know for most churches, you're probably just going to use the cut or the cross dissolve. Or maybe not. Maybe you'll get fancy and use some of those other ones. But that's where you select those options. Let's say the next one is those 2 lines with the little circles on them. That is your camera control. That is how you control focus, zoom quality on all of your sources. And you'll see even as I've come here, there is a yellow line with a magnifying glass. And you'll see that, let's see, right here. That line right there, that allows you to either make the picture zoom in or zoom out. So let's test that to see what that looks like. Let's pull it up and see how that zooms me in. I can pull it back down to zoom out. Whichever iPad is switching all of the cameras, you can control the zoom on all of them. You can also individually do it on those, but it's easier, in my opinion, to just control it from the iPad, which you've selected to be the switcher. The next you'll see, they look like sound waves. We'll select that and voila, that is your audio source. And you can see I am using the built-in microphone. And so you'll see that going up and down as I am talking. You can also use your church's soundboard. Let's say, you already have a really great soundboard. You can just purchase an adapter to plug into your iPad, whether that's an iRig Pre, whether that is a Scarlett audio interface, or any of the audio interfaces that you can actually plug into your iPad to your soundboard, so that you can have really professional sound quality in your stream. I love that you'll be able to connect that as well. And the last thing we'll talk about is Facebook polling. You can actually poll while you're in your services. I haven't really found a function or a reason to use this, but you could. And lastly, I'll go ahead and do this one. You can actually bring in guests to your live stream. Let's say pastor's on vacation and he just wants to say hello. You can have him connect to your live stream and have him say hello. Or let's say you have a guest speaker that's on the other side of the country, the other side of the world, and you want to bring him in to be a speaker. You can bring them in using that feature. So those are some of the features there as well. Now, one of the only drawbacks for Switcher for me is the limited file size that you'll be able to bring in. So you may not be able to access some of the pre-made countdown clocks because they are very heavy files and they are large. And like I said, there's a limited file size. But Switcher has an embedded countdown clock that you can use. And so let's look at what that looks like. Let's say you already have a background that you want to use. And we'll say that the purple one that I have here with the circles, all I have to do is select that. And you see how that took over the screen. That shows you that it's live. That red box around it lets you know that it's actually live. And then if I click on that 5-minute countdown, that is a countdown that your church could use right inside of Switcher without pulling in a pre-made countdown that are really, really heavy. And you could just drop in some background music that you have the rights to use if you're streaming on that for the countdown clock. You can even drop in some wording that says, we'll be going live in, and then they'll see the clock and so they'll know. And when you want to come out of that, because you'll see the red squares around that countdown clock and around that graphic, which is not included in Switcher. I want to make that clear. That's something that you either have to purchase, or you can look in the link in the description and I'll give you some free resources to get that as well. But if we click on my picture again, my video frame, that will take that out, and woo, there is me with the countdown clock. So you don't have to use a graphic for the countdown clock. Let's say that you have your main camera and you can show people preparing or meeting and greeting and church is getting ready to start. You can use that. You could just use a backdrop that has your church, just a picture of your church with this. So you can get really creative for the countdown clocks. And when we're going to pretend like this has elapsed the whole 5 minutes, when that's done, you can just click off of it and you're back to the main service, the main feature. So that is adding the countdown clock. When you want to bring any asset into Switcher as a source, on the bottom of the sources side, there is a blue button with a white plus sign. Simply click on that, just touch it, and it brings up the asset dialog box. And it shows you where you can add photos, you can add videos, text and graphics, logo, cards, multi-view, inputs with your cameras, where you can bring things in from Switcher Cloud, and audio. These are all things that you could add from there. So the next thing we're going to talk about is lower thirds. How to add lower thirds. As you can see, I already have some custom lower thirds. So lower thirds are just descriptive text that you'll add to your broadcast to let people know either who's speaking. You can add scriptures there. You can add just that we're doing prayer, or just that we're doing the scripture, or just that we're raising the offering, just to alert your viewing audience as what is going on in your broadcast at that time. You'll see we have several here. And if I just wanted to choose a lower third to add into the broadcast, all I have to do is touch it. The beauty of Switcher is that it is touch based. And so let's say that somebody is praying. All I have to do is click on the prayer, and it shows you, let's say, who we will have during our prayer on any given Sunday. And so you'll see that it also has the red box around it. And anytime I'm ready to remove it, I just touch it again. And voila, it goes away. But let's talk about if you don't already have custom lower thirds that you want to add, but you want to use the features that's already inside of Switcher to create a lower third. So let's do that. Click on the plus icon at the bottom. Remember the blue button with the white plus. Click on that. And then you'll see there's so many options here. Photo, video, text graphics, logo, yada, yada, yada. All the graphics that you see here. We're looking for text and graphics. So we're going to select text and graphics. And then you'll see the options, titles, lower thirds, social overlays. So let's touch lower thirds. Then you'll see that there are 7, 8 options to choose from. Let's choose a simple option. We'll select the option, the top left, or actually that was the top right, and you'll see what that option looks like, and you'll be able to actually customize it. So where it says title, we're going to just click on that, double tap it, and now we can make this whatever we want to be. Let's say the person that's there is going to be Dr. Solomon. Let's make him Solomon. And so we have his name there. And let's do the title. We're going to select that so that we can change it. And let's say we're going to call him the campus pastor. And then you also see where we can actually make changes to the logo. I don't have a logo here, but if your church has a logo, if you have it on the iPad that you're using as a switcher or in the Switcher Cloud, you'll be able to just tap on that and input your church's logo there. So since we don't have one, we'll just move on and we'll click done. And anytime you add a new asset or a new graphic to Switcher, it puts it at the very bottom. So you'll see at the very bottom the asset or the lower third that we just made. So if we click on it, you'll see it says Dr. Solomon, campus pastor. Now let's say we don't want those assets to stay way at the bottom because it's going to take too much to scroll down, especially once you start getting a lot of assets, a lot of graphics. that window is going to get longer and longer, and you don't want all of those assets to be, that far down. You can just simply move them. So if you see where that red box is, where we have Dr. Solomon, click on that and hold it, and it'll bring up, voila, a new menu box. One says edit, one says duplicate, one says reorder, and then remove. We're going to look to reorder, so we're going to select reorder and see how all of the boxes start shaking. Just take the one that you just made with the red box around it and simply drag it up to the top where you want it to be. And now it is closer to the top, and just touch it again and all the boxes stop shaking. And so now it's really, really close for you, and you don't have to go all the way down to the bottom. So that's how you can reorder anything in Switcher Studio. So that's how you make a lower third. And so let's talk about adding other items. So let's click on that plus button again. And let's go to text and graphics again. Let's say social overlays. Let's click social overlays. Now you'll see all of the social overlays: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm surprised their TikTok is not on here yet. But let's say we want to add, let's go to Instagram. And let's say we're going to make this the name of my ministry media. Let's see if we can actually spell right. Yeah, there we go. And what you can see on here that text is actually going to make it come outside of that white box, which allows, I'm so happy that on Switcher I can resize it. So let's scale that text and let's bring it in, because I want the entire thing to be in the white space. So let's maybe stretch it out just a little bit more. There we go. And then I can say done. And remember, where is that graphic that we just designed? Absolutely. It's all the way at the bottom. I'm not going to move it this time. I'm just going to bring it on screen. And so when you are talking, or when your pastor is talking, or when whoever is facilitating service is speaking, and they said, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Ministry Media Solutions, or whatever your church name is, you can what? Just click and bring it on screen. And what happens when you want it to go off? Tell me in the comments what you do when you want it to go off. You just touch it and it goes away. Touch it again, boom, it comes back. Touch it again, it goes away. And so that's how you add just a simple overlay for social. And you can add that for all socials. Now let's go and add something else. We're going to go back to text and graphics, and let's say donation overlays. These are just a few of the ways that your members and your viewers can donate or give to your ministry. I see Venmo, I see PayPal, Givelify. What is this? What is that? Cash app. I don't know the very top. When y'all let me know what that is. And the other one looks like it might be Push Pay, but I'm not sure. These are all the different kinds. So you can really make it easy for someone that wants to donate to your ministry. You can just simply use, let's see, Givelify. Our church uses Givelify. I want to change the name to that. And then put our church name in here. We're having trouble spelling, aren't we? And then I'll scale that text again. And do that. And where is that again? Right. It's at the bottom. And so I could say, and feel free to give to our ministry, New Beginnings, Church of God by Faith. And that is an easy way to let your viewing audience know how to give to you, how to support the initiatives that your church has. And so those are your giving options that you can use as overlays. And it's so quick and it's so easy to use and to access on Switcher Studio. And so let's do another thing. We talked about being able to bring multiple things on stream using multi-view, having one thing big, one thing small, or the same size. If we click that plus button again, and we're going to do multi-views, you'll see the button multi-view that says AB. There are several ways that you can do multi-view. You can do it with 2 views, 3, 4, 5, 6, or more. We're going to keep it simple and let's select 2 views. Those are the options for things with 2 views. All of the ways that you can do it. I've already downloaded 2 that we're going to look at. But no, those are not all the options. There are several that you can do. So I'm just going to come out of this, and you'll see on the second row the 2 options that I want to do. So let's say we're going to select the first option, the big A and the little b. Let's say it's offering time, and we're going to be talking about offering. We're going to select that particular one. And now it's going to ask me what is going to be A. Select what is going to be big on here. And let's say I want the screen to give to be big. So I'm going to select that screen as A. Now it's asking me what's going to be B, what's going to be that small picture in picture. And I want that to be me or the person on stage talking. So I'm going to select that. And so that's what that would look like. That's going to be whatever is you selected for A to be fill most of the screen, and then just the person maybe talking about giving. Now you might want to play around with it to make sure that all of the wording or phrasing shows. As you can see, I've covered up some here, but just to show you how it works. And at the end of the offering, like let's say you're ready to go back to service and you want to come out of this. And so we're going to go full stream back onto whoever is speaking. We're just going to click on that. And you'll see at the top of that, it says solo. So if I click on solo, that brings that person back to the forefront. We can also do it to split screen where both of them are showing equal. And we'll show you that with this one. Let's see, select A as the person that's speaking and B as the giving option, and woo. There you go. They're both side by side and they both have equal sizing on the frame. And there's even like a mirror image down at the bottom that you can faintly see as well. But let's say at this time, people are moving around in your sanctuary and they're actually giving, and you don't want them to see that on screen. You just want them to see the ways that they can give for your viewing audience. If we click that one again, that B, and we can take that solo, so that while people are moving around in your sanctuary, you can have this for your viewing audience to see all the ways that they could give to your ministry. And when you're ready to come out of that, all you have to do is click, and you're back to the main view. So those are just some of the many features and assets that are available on Switcher Studio. Let me know if you use Switcher Studio, if you don't, or which are the best features that you like. Or just let me know what other features you want me to talk about. And we'll see about maybe getting some tutorials about those as well. Thanks so much for watching. This month, I offered a live class on Switcher Studio. We only have one more class this month for it before that class is gone. If this video has piqued your interest about Switcher Studio and you'd like more in-depth learning on it, be sure to check the description box for the link to get into that last class. Now don't procrastinate. Be sure to go ahead and sign up before all of the spots are gone. I look forward to seeing you in class. Need more tools to help your church stand out on social media? Download my free guide, The 5 Unbeatable Social Media Post Ideas for Churches. It is going to take the guesswork out of what to post on your church social media pages every week. So be sure to check the description box. The link is there and you can get that free resource today. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I'm going to ask you to go ahead to do that. Click that subscribe button. Also, be sure to like this video so that I know and YouTube knows that this is content that you enjoy. Also, at the end of this video, YouTube is going to suggest the best next video for you to watch. I know they're going to give you a good option, so be sure to watch that video next. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.